to be giving 3 possum facts about cats, just because I'm in love with cats. I don't know if any of you guys are cat owners. Highly suggested. Alrighty, so I just want to start off with a funny picture. Again, if any of you guys do have cats, I'm pretty sure that you have come home one day, you enter your bathroom, and your toilet paper is shredded, and then you go into your room, only to see that your other back of toilet papers are shredded. So I just thought this was really funny when I came across it. Alrighty, this is my kitten. Her name is Oatmeal Bean. She was about like a month and a half when I got her, and throughout the presentation I will be using her as reference, so I just kind of wanted to introduce her as well because I couldn't bring her. Alrighty, so the sandpaper-like tongue. I wanted to talk about, everybody, I don't know if anybody has been licked by a cat, but I'm sure it's not pleasant. It's kind of scratchy, it doesn't make you feel comfortable, but when they eat, they actually, it acts as knives, and so it allows them to kind of cut through the food and eat. And then I believe Dr. John Bradshaw from the documentary, The Lion in Your Living Room, he said that when they drink the water, they actually kind of corkscrew it up in their mouth. That's why when cats drink water compared to dogs, they don't make a big mess. It's kind of a more elegant way of drinking the water. And then this little experiment that I tried on my cat, which Dr. Armand talked about, they actually do not acquire a taste for sweets. They're natural born carnivores. And so this is her. I placed chicken, and then I placed a sweet potato, and as you can see, she smelled it, and then she realized that was not her thing. I gave it to her again, and she did the same thing. And so I thought that was just interesting because throughout the time that I've had her, I've constantly tried to give her like little fruits, like banana, for example, and she ends up actually playing with it. So that is something that I didn't know about as far as the cat's tongue goes. And then for smell, vision, and hearing, the smell, everybody obviously we smell through our nose, and then that right there is her little nose right there. That's where she smells her nostrils. And what I didn't know is they have a little other olfactory organ, which is right up here. And the purpose for that is to smell other cats. And so that's why if you ever see 2 cats interacting with each other and one is trying to smell the other, they'll actually open their mouth just a little bit. That way they could get a whiff of the cat. And that's actually the only purpose that it serves. Everything else, as far as sniffing its environment, they'll use just its nose, just like we do. For sight, we see with our eyes, and so do cats. But what their whiskers, they're actually not just hairs. They're actually blood-filled vessels, and they're actually very sensitive and crucial to a cat to live. When it's dark, for example, we know that cats can see in the dark, but for their whiskers, they actually detect how far and also how fast their prey is going, and as well as like what kind of space they can get into, whether it be, if it's too small, they know not to go in and they'll try something new, which is also something that I didn't know and I found very interesting. And then for hearing, we hear with our ears, but they don't swivel, whereas cats, it actually does. So here she was suckling on one of my blankets in my bedroom, and then I started talking and her ears actually ended up swiveling to the side. When cats want to get the source of sound, they will either swivel it forward, to the side, or backwards, which is pretty interesting because I didn't really know that. I just know that when they're upset, they kind of move it to the back. And then the third fact that was really interesting to me was the saying, cats always land on their feet. But what I didn't know, there's actually 2 methods that they use. So the first method is if they're falling off a tree or a high balcony, they will rotate their body within a fraction of a section, just like John Bradshaw mentioned, and they will extend their legs out and then land, and it will act as like a impact, like a cushion impact, and they usually come out unscathed for the most part. But the second method, if they feel like they're actually falling from really high heights, so like say this building or a 5-story building, 6-story, they will rotate their body just like the previous example, except they will extend their paws out, or their legs out, and the little belly fat and like the armpit area acts as like a parachute, and then they end up hunching their back, and then once they land, they try to land as carefully as possible. They do possibly end up getting hurt, but it's just a safer way and they don't end up panicking. They know that they are falling and they try their best to land safely. And this is my kitten. I just kind of wanted to make a quick little, I guess you could say, announcement. Before you want to adopt, please make sure to check out your local animal shelter, because I ended up just going there for fun and I ended up leaving with one of the greatest animals that I think I've ever had. We were back home in California and I have brought her back to live here with me, and she's just a great companion overall. And this is my works cited page, just had to show that. Anyways, thank you guys for taking the time out of your class to hear me out.